Oh my goodness. Sorry. Oh my goodness.
Oh, look! The sociopaths blocked people from seeing if their flights are delayed. That's definitely going to make the weather gooder. Yeah. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of youtube.com/We Are Change, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and crazy news to get into today. As, of course, there's a lot of threats with world totalitarian government that some very interesting people are speaking out against, specifically Peter Thiel, who a lot of people see connected right to the potential next vice president of the United States. That a lot of people are calling weird, as internationally the situation is not okay, especially in places like Venezuela and also in France, where there's still a lot of questions and outrage about their opening ceremony that has troubled a lot of people who are paying attention to the larger kind of ritual that was just practiced on everyone. What's really going on here? What else is all happening in the local news? Well, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And because you subscribed, Atlas gets one treat right now for, you guys actually clicking that subscribe button. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is highlighted once again from Heathrow Airport by Just Stop Oil, what many people describe as eco-idiots, but they're more like sociopaths, because if we got rid of oil, there would be tremendous amount of turmoil and destruction to the global economy to levels of extinction-like proportions, which they unironically keep screaming about if we continue using. Again, absolutely low IQ, impulse, not controlled, egotistical, short-term, dopamine freaking lunatics that probably love the smell of their own farts. This is, of course, they're a part of the woke ideology that is being taught in public education systems and on social media that is trying to normalize biological males beating up biological women, as we have now in the Olympics. Two biological men that have transitioned fighting in the women's boxing competition and beating the crap out of all the biological women. Now, of course, we're not going to be showing you the brutal clips here, but it's pretty clear that there's an absolute unfair biological advantage here that is clearly seen not only in the performance but in the physical stature and strength of these individuals that are just beating the crap out of these women, as of course this is supposed to be cheered on and congratulated for some reason, as it's absolute lunacy in my opinion. As, of course, the woke ideology is being promoted, codified, and, of course, thrown in our face, especially during the opening ceremonies of the Olympics in France, which now, very interestingly, the Turkish president is responding to by calling over the Pope to discuss the, quote, immorality committed against the Christian world, specifically with the Paris Olympics opening ceremony. This as another very woke, tolerant place where the local population was forced to eat any and all animals around them because of hyperinflation and the government printing money out of thin air. Venezuela is in absolute turmoil right now, as a lot of people are taking to the streets to protest the latest kind of election results, which some people are saying were rigged, as now the Venezuelan opposition is coming out saying that they have proof its candidate actually defeated President Maduro, as the civil unrest and riots are expanding in that country, highlighting a situation that many people say is coming to the United States. As here domestically, civilly, there's also a lot of strife, also a lot of contention between political parties and ideologies that kind of boiled over, especially when it came to the attempted assassination of the former president of the United States. As today, the FBI is revealing new bombshell developments about what actually happened here, as we keep finding out that there was allegedly mistake after mistake after mistake after many more mistakes and other mistakes. And then a little bit of more mistakes that were all just coincidental. Oh, well, it was just a mistake and an accident and a coincidence. That just happened a gajillion times, which the probability of are almost impossible. But yeah, trust the official version. As of course, they have now come out and are saying that this guy was a loner, but might have had a social media account many years ago that fits into the perfect narrative that the corporate media has been shaping for a very long time, along with the deep state of people who, of course, are critical of immigration. Now, is this true? The FBI is using very kind of weird language, as they're saying, maybe this is his social media account, maybe it's not. Is it? Well, I don't know, but there's sure is going to be a lot of disinformation, a lot of chaos and confusion thrown into the wind to, of course, make sure that we never find out what's really going on here. As, of course, U.S. Senator Rand Paul has been raising some very serious questions about this entire matter, as his comments about what's really going on here are absolutely pointed and important for the American people to understand.
Here, that the acting director, Rowe, has initiated a disciplinary investigation in addition to the ongoing Secret Service policy review. This is an important step. However, real accountability will require a comprehensive examination of all the facts, which still remain unclear.
This as the acting Secret Service director just announced that he is ashamed of the colossal roof security failure, as again, the story just doesn't officially add up. It doesn't make sense. As even the current Secret Service director says that he cannot defend why the roof in this rally was unsecured. It's unexplainable. We don't understand. And of course, there's a lot more to this story, including the sinister nature of censorship that is also happening with it as well, along with the larger kind of disinformation thrown out there that we uncovered in a special video just for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. If you're a member, you could log in right now and get a special, unfiltered, uncensored report that's available to you right now as a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. You get a lot of really cool other offers of value, including the ability to call in to our live show, as we have some really incredible people that are joining us for our podcast episodes. We just had Russell Brand on our show. We just had Rob Schneider on our show. We have members of Congress. We have some of the most important voices in the world on our podcast episode, and you could be one of those voices just by simply signing up and joining our secret members only Telegram group. And when you want to call in and be a part of the show, all you have to do is let me know, message me, and I will call you during the show to say whatever you want to say during it. That's one of the perks of signing up and becoming a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. If you haven't done that yet, what are you doing? We have master classes, we have contest tickets, giveaways. We gave out tens of thousands of dollars of prizes just for members of LukeUnfiltered.com, as well as nature hikes. We're going to be doing more of those. We're going to be doing a special trip out to, of course, Tampa as well. Lots of really fun stuff happening just for members, all exclusively on LukeUnfiltered.com. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Click the description right now. Click on it and join for $8, $15, $99, whatever your budget could afford. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. You put in a little bit of information, you get emailed back your login, and you get a plethora of amazing offers of value, including even seed oil cards and the crap list. Again, check it all out on LukeUnfiltered.com. See you there right after this one, as there's a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to a lot of the kind of existential threats to society, as there's a lot at stake with this upcoming presidential election, as there's a lot of surprises, a lot of shakeups, a lot of attempts on the life of the candidate that everyone expects to win. As the Washington Post today is reporting that J.D. Vance, the VP pick for Donald Trump, is telling donors that them changing out Biden with Harris has been a sucker punch to them, as of course, there's not a lot of dirt, there's not a lot of baggage, there's not a lot of anything on Kamala Harris, as it does look like the corporate media has gotten their new marching orders, specifically with calling J.D. Vance weird.
Saying, well, it's just plain weird.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are.
As weird and creepy as J.D. Vance.
Super weird idea from J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's quite weird. They're just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
That stuff is weird. They come across weird, and then they start being weird. Yeah, they're weird.
Being a really weird.
He's such a weirdo.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate, they're weird. Deeply and profoundly weird.
They are weird.
These Republicans just being weird, it's just weird. It's really weird.
Republican weirdness goes even deeper.
He said a lot of things that are weird, a weird style that he brings, weird policies.
Let's start with the weird thing, because it is a thing.
Just plain weird.
What was weird was talking about that.
Yeah, the video goes on for another minute and 20 seconds. As of course, it's almost as if they're kind of reading from the same script. That's because they probably are. As Elon Musk responded to this by saying, quote, they should mix up the propaganda more. This is way too obvious. As of course, a lot of people are paying attention to J.D. Vance as the main kind of attack vector against Donald Trump right now, as CNN writes about his political transformation on, quote, every imaginable issue recently. The New York Times wrote another article about his unlikely friendship with someone who changed their gender. And of course, a lot of people are backing a lot of other billionaires that are tied in to J.D. Vance, as of course, this is even the talking point of Melinda Gates that specifically targeted Elon Musk and Peter Thiel for people who are backing and have close relationships to, of course, J.D. Vance. The Guardian wrote a very interesting article talking about tech broligarchs, describing J.D. Vance as one more link in the chain, as a lot of people tie J.D. Vance to, of course, Peter Thiel, who is a steering committee member of the Bilderberg Group meeting. He is a billionaire who had previously had ties to things like PayPal and also Palantir, which is a quasi kind of intel private organization that works on things like pre-crime surveillance AI technology, as well as genetic mappings of people's poop, which recently was criticized by Whitney Webb, who wrote that the man behind Trump's VP pick is worse than, quote, you think. All of this as Peter Thiel has just come out in a very surprising interview with Trigonometry, going out and saying that the biggest real risk for the world right now is totalitarian world government, an assessment which I would actually agree with. As Peter Thiel gave a very fascinating interview describing the dangers of a totalitarian one world government that could potentially use artificial intelligence to take over humanity. He also warned about tax increases going up to 95 to 100%, which again is all a real threat here, as he also outlined how the communist Chinese state is the greatest threat to the West, as they represent a totalitarian communist society that a lot of Western elites are trying to shape the Western world with. As he also warned about a decoupling with China that could happen if they invade Taiwan. As he also went on in great detail to describe how the European Union is becoming a manifestation of this tyranny that he's describing engulfing and taking over the entire West.
We want to also put into the hopper, if we were to have a comprehensive discussion of these risks, is the risk of a totalitarian one world government. And I think that the implicit answer to so many of these existential risks is a totalitarian one world government. And so,
fascinating comments with a fascinating conversation that I would absolutely agree with. And everything that kind of Peter Thiel outlined in this larger podcast, I not only thought was kind of rational, but important to discuss, especially since these kind of larger existential threats do loom on us as a society. The freedoms that we are losing every single day, the economic kind of devastation that we're dealing with every single day is becoming more insurmountable. Now you add that to the factor of an AI system that might spur on a global world government. This is something that, of course, we've been warning about for a very long time. Now, the very interesting question that a lot of people are asking themselves is this kind of larger kind of ideology transferred to someone like J.D. Vance that previously had ties to Peter Thiel? And if it's that kind of larger ideology, do you see that as a negative or positive thing? And if you haven't watched this Peter Thiel podcast yet, I recommend watching it. As I want to leave the question to you. What do you think of this discussion, this topic, and of course, this man that now the corporate media and even parts of alternative media are pointing at, looking at, and either criticizing or praising. What's your assessment about this situation and the man? Let me know down in the comment section below. As of course, I think the conversation started from all of this are absolutely fascinating and more important than ever to get into before it's too late. As now some people are saying Thiel is fighting the larger kind of technocratic surveillance state, while others are criticizing him for potentially building it with Palantir. What's your assessment of this particular debate? Again, I really look forward to the comment section to get to see what you guys think about this particular issue. And if you thought this conversation was important, share it with your friends and family members. That is more imperative than ever. I got one more podcast episode coming your way, 6 p.m. Eastern here on this particular YouTube channel. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys liking, subscribing, and getting this video out there to the general public. And because you do, that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.